I make no excuses whatsoever for eating. I watched. We did a live on the Swansea Southampton game, and then I went onto the internet to try and find a watch along for the Championship, and could find absolutely none. Therefore, we have on Saturday, 20th of January, a watch along with me having my lunch. I hope you enjoy it. And we're going to go through the Championship as it goes through, and we're going to watch the goals go in. Somebody just disappeared. I make absolutely no excuses whatsoever for eating, bar for the fact that I really wanted to watch someone else's live. So if anyone else wants to go live and have me watch them, please do. I have made, I would love to watch another watch along. If you know another watch along, please tell me. There goes the clock. There we go, starting. I'll open up all of the games. The half-time score in the Arsenal women game is Arsenal women 2, Everton women 1. Championship was Swansea 1, Southampton 3, although Southampton were playing a game of 10 men behind the ball at the end, and Swansea nearly got a second. Interesting games. We've also got the League One. We'll keep with League One and League Two as well. If anybody does want to does come on, you can shout up the League One and League Two games. Let's have a quick look. We have Wigan Reading, which will be quite interesting. I'm interested to know whether we get to the 17th minute and it gets called off again. I actually feel really sorry for the Reading fans. They deserve more from an owner than what they've got. As the games are now underway, we have Blackburn 0, Huddersfield 0, 1 minute. Bristol City, Watford. Middlesbrough, Rotherham started. Norwich and West Brom hasn't started yet. Plymouth, Cardiff started. QPR, Millwall has just started. Sheffield Wednesday, Coventry, not started yet. And Stoke versus Birmingham is on 1 minute. So we've got a couple of non-starters at that point. Go through League One. There's no quick goals in League Two. So that's the start of the game at Rotherham. So I'm a Rotherham fan. And we will now see as I quickly try and eat my lunch. Hey, I don't mind. If people want to come and watch, great. Please stay. Please comment. Keep it open. Have a good chat. I don't mind. League One is now starting to unfold. Yeah, League Two is as well. We have not got the first goal. Not yet, anyway. So, where do I think the first goal is going to come from? We have Wrexham away at Newport County. That may be a good game. I think we may see Forest Green. I'm going to say Forest Green in League Two. Derby Lincoln's a pretty interesting game. Portsmouth away at Fleetwood. I'm going to say Portsmouth away at Fleetwood. Yeah, I'm going to Portsmouth away at Fleetwood for League One. And for the Championship, dares I go, really? You know, I'm actually going to go Huddersfield. I'm actually going to go Huddersfield. I don't know why. And if I'm right, then I should be betting on football. Just log in to log into that. Not got anything going in yet. If anybody does, see, if you want to watch along, I don't mind you watching along. Have a really good time. Have a chat. No, I've got a live chat on. You want to have a quick chat? And please do. Burkina Faso is beating Algeria away 1-0. Nothing in the Championship. Nothing in League One. Nothing in League Two. Who's going to be the first team to score? Shall we have a look at the third? We'll have a look at Blackburn versus Huddersfield. Oh, and Huddersfield has shot off target, but it bounces back to Tom Lees, who has a second chance, but he doesn't. He pulls it back, and Ainsley Pearce gets the ball in defence. So at the minute, Huddersfield are on the top, on top at the at Blackburn. Yeah, Huddersfield definitely on top there. I did say Huddersfield to score. So first, let's have a look at some of the others. So we have Stoke Birmingham with Stoke in the attack at the minute. Philippe-Andre Vidigal. Stoke, and they runs it out of play for a Birmingham throw-in. Ivan, they're keeping it around the back, aren't they? Right, so Birmingham pulling it around the back. So that's Blackburn and Huddersfield, with Huddersfield in the lead at the minute. Well, in the ascendancy at the minute. So which game shall we go to next, guys? We shall go to Bristol City versus Watford. Now we'll look at Bristol City versus Watford. Let's have a look at what Bristol's. Oh, Watford has had a shot on goal. Zach Viner grabs it but gives it away to Tom Dele-Bashiru. Tom Dele-Bashiru for Watford. Passes it back to Andre and then Jasper. Watford at the minute seem to be in the ascendancy. So we have Huddersfield in the ascendancy. We have Watford in the ascendancy. Backwards again. My team. Oh, and we got a goal. I said Huddersfield were in the ascendancy. Blackburn have actually scored. So Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 0. And Blackpool has scored. Blackpool 1, Bristol Rovers 0. Let's have a look at League 2. Milton Keynes 1, Morecambe 0. That was 3 in the first 3 minutes there. 7 minutes there. Milton Keynes probably. Yeah, probably the Milton Keynes goal was the first one there of the day. So that was unexpected. We were going to go look at the Rotherham game with away to Middlesbrough. This is one of the games where I said I don't think it's a case of will they win it. It's a case of how many will they win by. But we shall see as we click the Middlesbrough game. Rotherham have had an attack. Middlesbrough goal kick. They didn't finish with a shot on goal though. Attacks are even. 60-40 possession with Middlesbrough. So Middlesbrough are in the ascendancy, but shot-wise, 3 shots to Middlesbrough in the first 7 minutes, 0 to Rotherham. Right, it does look like it's going to be when. One of the interesting games is this one, which is Norwich City versus West Brom. At the middle minute, it's 0-0. And we have West Brom holding it. Norwich have had 1 shot. It was on target, but it wasn't a very... it's not given them an XG, so it wasn't an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Whereas West Brom have had 1 off target, but it was a good chance. So 70%, 75% possession nearly for West Brom. So Norwich are doing well with their little possession. Let's have a look at this one. This could be interesting. Plymouth versus Cardiff. So one of those games where you expect Plymouth to be scoring 3. Cardiff have got the ball at the minute. Oh, mighty. Ooh. Very nearly a scoring opportunity. Not quite. Brandon's got it in his own in the defence. In his own defence. And we see Plymouth. Oh, how did he lose that? He's lost it in his own box. And Cardiff have just turned it in the net. So Cardiff are now 1-0 up at Plymouth. Literally just happened. So Plymouth are now 1-0 down at home. I wish my phone wouldn't do that. So we have Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 0, Plymouth 0, Cardiff 1. We have Stoke 0, Birmingham 1. And I did say I think Birmingham have got past that 6-game losing run and are on a winning streak. And I did say I expect Birmingham to win. I know it's early days, but it's Birmingham leading the way. At Stoke City's, is it Bet365 Stadium? Which is strange because that's what I'm viewing it on. So here we are. Quickly finishing my lunch. I know, bad, isn't it? But, wow, Cardiff winning. Blackpool are winning away at Bristol Rovers. That's all for that league. Barrow are winning at home to Crewe. And Milton Keynes are winning at home to Morecambe. And that was in 2nd minute, Max Dean. So it would have been Milton Keynes would have been the first scorer of the day. Bristol City 0, Watford 1. Did say they were on the ascendancy. Didn't go the same way in the Blackburn game. The Blackburn game was certainly more of a Huddersfield push, but Blackburn managed to push up from behind and get the goal. So we now have position. We now have Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0, Watford 1, Plymouth 0, Cardiff 1. They lose it in their own box. They'll regret losing it in their own box. Stoke 0, Birmingham 1. Look at some of the others still. That would have been an interesting one. Stevenage Barnsley postponed. Look at that one. And we're going up to 11th, 14th minute. I'm actually going to switch divisions. We're on 12th minute. That's we're a little bit too early. If we go Wigan Reading, we're doing Wigan Reading. We're going to have a quick 5-minute stint with Wigan Reading while I look at. So I'm actually looking at that. I'm actually going to try and put that there so that I can look at both at the same time. So we have Blackburn still winning, Watford still winning, Cardiff and Birmingham still winning. So that's the last game. Bristol, that's League One. Blackpool versus away to Bristol Rovers. They're winning. And if I go down there. So what am I doing, guys? Well, what I'm doing is I'm looking at I'm looking at the protests that will. I think this is 17 minutes where they come for the Reading game, and I'm busy looking at it, thinking, well, we're on 13 minutes now, guys, and as one of the Rotherham players, Lewis Wing, he played for Rotherham at one point. He's got it for Reading. He's doing quite well. He's not a bad player. Passing it around, loses it. Sam Tickle for Wigan, who then sort of walks it around his own box. I think they, as they come to 14 minutes, they're pretty much. Norwich winning West Brom. Norwich winning West Brom. When that one come in? Let's see that one. Yeah, Norwich have just scored against West Brom. So Josh Sargent has just scored for Norwich. So we now have Norwich winning West Brom. This is a surprise for me. Plymouth are losing at home to Cardiff, which is another surprise. I'm sure they'll come back. Stoke City 0, Birmingham 1. I think that might stay where it is, guys. The one to watch at the minute, I would say, is Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 0. Huddersfield were actually playing the better of the two, to be honest. So I'm not quite sure where that came from. But still, we have indeed got Blackburn winning against the run of play as Wigan now come in from their right. Might have a good chance of scoring here, Wigan. And how many minutes are they on? Tell me how many minutes they're on. They're coming up to the 17th minute, which is going to be interesting. I love it when they don't tell you the times because they know damn well what's going to happen. If there's anything else we can do. One shot for Wigan at the minute. 15 minutes and 37 seconds. Ooh, a minute and a half to the protests at Wigan, with Reading playing them. So, which teams are on 0-0 still? Which teams are on 0-0? Sheffield Wednesday. Michael Icky has been given a yellow card. Coventry have 58% possession there. Coventry are definitely on the up against Sheffield Wednesday. That's 0-0. QPR 0, Millwall 0. Rotherham are 0-0 away at Borough. They are the only 3 games on 0-0. As we see the Reading game away at Wigan turn into its 16 and a half minutes. Let us see what happens. All the other games are 1-0. Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 0. Bristol City 0, Watford 1. Norwich 1, West Brom 0. Plymouth 0, Cardiff 1. And Stoke City 0, Birmingham 1. As we go into 17 minutes at Wigan, still playing football. I'm sure it's 17 minutes. Oh, don't you dare go off. So we have any more goals? Can we have any more goals? Shall we go into League One? Oh, 2 goals for Blackpool. That's Bristol Rovers 0, Blackpool 2. So the only team to be doing anything is indeed that one. Barrow 1, Crewe 0. MK1, Morecambe 0. Don't go away. What about that? And that's that. So we're up to date with the goals as we go back into the Championship. And we see Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0, Watford 1. Who's scored for Watford? Oh, it's a penalty for Watford from Tom Dele Bashiru. Tom Dele Bashiru scoring for Watford. Blackburn Rovers was Adam Wharton on 7 minutes. Oops, they've had a substitution. So Bristol Rovers have had to take Hayden Carter off and put Scott Wharton on. Scott Wharton, no, so Scott Wharton on, and Adam Wharton has scored. Are they relatives? That's interesting. Who else has scored? Norwich. Let's see. Norwich. We've got Josh Sargent on 13. 13 minutes seems to be quite a. Perry NG on 10 for Cardiff. And Birmingham, guess who it is? Jay Stanfield. Jay Stansfield again on 10. So 10 minutes and 13 minutes in the the Championship. That's that. I'm going to come out of that one. It doesn't look like they're having a protest at Wigan. I suppose is a good thing. So we'll let what we're going to do is just grab a quick check here. Let's have a look at the Sheffield Wednesday game. The Sheffield Wednesday game, we have. We won't put it up there. Doesn't really matter, does it? Nobody's in the chat, so we can put it up there as we want to. Link. So. Barry Bannon has it. Will Volks has it. They're doing quite well, Sheffield Wednesday now. They're in the box. Sheffield Wednesday. Josh Windass has it right on the edge of the box, but Ben Sheaf takes it from him He's trying to play it out. Now, I don't know, playing it out with Barry Bannon right by your side is a brilliant idea. Ben Sheaf, get rid of it. Is he going to get rid of it? No, he's going to pass it sideways to Liam Kitchen, who does try and push it forward a little bit to Callum O'Hare. Callum O'Hare now, let's see what stats are. Oh, Valentin for Wednesday cuts it out on their defensive half. And Huddersfield have indeed equalised. So Huddersfield have equalised against Blackburn. We've got that. We were just going to go to the stats for Sheffield Wednesday game, see if it's changed. Coventry have an XG of 0.22, Sheffield Wednesday 0.02, 54% possession for Coventry now. So Sheffield Wednesday are actually coming back into it, although Coventry have had 5 shots, only 2 on target. So who's scored for? So Michael Hellick for Huddersfield has equalised on 23 minutes. They still think that Blackburn are almost evens for winning that, even though they've just been pegged back. I think 3-1 against for Huddersfield to win it is actually quite a decent set of odds. Huddersfield. Oh, and Bristol City have just scored. Bristol City just scored against Watford. So 24 minutes. Bristol City have put the ball in the net. Let's have a go. I'll still be looking at it because I've not put it up on the not put who has got it yet. Not on every system. Yep, not. Was it going to tell us? Well, Scott Twine for Bristol City. Yeah. Bashiru for Watford. Scott Twine has now scored on 25 minutes for Bristol City. So Bristol City are now back in that game, which is quite strange. But Bristol City were actually getting rather trounced up until that point. It looked like Watford were well on top of that game. But like we said with the Huddersfield game, the Blackburn were 1-0 up against Huddersfield, and Huddersfield were actually playing the better football and were actually way in the ascendancy over Blackburn, yet Blackburn managed to score, and then we had the equaliser there as Huddersfield actually, from Michael Hellick, Huddersfield are actually attacking at the minute, and it's Michael Hellick again in the box. Can he shoot? Michael Hellick he's offside. Oh, darn it! It was offside. See, Huddersfield nearly went in the lead there. That would have been a 2-1. That would have been a 2-1 scoreline for Huddersfield, but Hellick caught offside. I say it's actually quite interesting. I don't know who's online, but the Huddersfield, the Blackburn Huddersfield game is really, really heating up. Blackburn have an XG of 0.75 and Huddersfield 0.21. And I know that Blackburn have 61% possession, but the team that's actually doing it for me is Huddersfield, because when they are on the ball, they're doing very, very well, and they're getting it into position really, really quickly, and they're actually. I'm surprised their XG isn't higher than that. When they get in there, they're doing really well. They just need that finishing touch, as can be seen by that offside goal just then. So we now have Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 1. We have Bristol City 1, Watford 1. Whoever's watching, if you want to tell me who your side is, we can. I can have a quick flashback into your team's game if you want. I'm going to my team's game, Middlesbrough versus Rotherham, and indeed it's nearly 75% play for Middlesbrough, My team, Rotherham, 26% at the minute. No attacks whatsoever from Rotherham. 14 attacks from Middlesbrough. However, Rotherham actually had it's 2 shots to 1. None of them on target in favour of Middlesbrough. You say, if you want to tell me who you support, then please do. So we go away from that one. That one does look like it will eventually be a Middlesbrough win. The odds at the minute are 2-5 on for Middlesbrough, 17-2 against for Rotherham, and a 3-1. It's now 3 1/3 to 1 against for the draw. Norwich is still 1-0 up at home to West Brom. Cardiff surprisingly 1-0 up away at Plymouth. Now, Plymouth actually had it on their right wing in defence, I agree. But instead of wellying it out, he lost the ball. And Cardiff just whipped it into the box, and suddenly it's 1-0 up. And I really can't see where the goal came from. It was from absolutely nowhere. Plymouth, we know Plymouth very well at home. They score 3 at home quite regularly. I mean, just to go back into it for the sake of it, if we look at the stats, it's 50-50. However, it's basically only one. Cardiff's had 2 shots, 1 on target and 1 goal, and Plymouth's had 1 shot not on target. It's actually quite even. If you look at the stats, it's quite even. I tell you what, the full-time result odds 4-1 against Plymouth winning this, and they score 3 goals at home regular. That's like 4-1, 4-1 against. I mean, that's bloody good odds. That is absolutely bloody good odds. I don't bet. My wife died in April, and she always used to say, "Well, a little bit's okay, but don't become a gambler when she's gone." So I don't bet. I bet about £1. Put £1 on the Rotherham to win the Borough game today, but it's only £1. But 4-1 to me is absolutely absurd. A draw 13-5. I mean, that's nearly 3-1 for a draw. When if Plymouth don't win at home, they tend to draw. So I'm absolutely astonished at the odds on that. There's some really decent odds from that game. If you think about the doing a quadruple or a triplicate draw, then I'd certainly be thinking about the Plymouth or a Plymouth draw. QPR have scored. QPR have scored against Millwall. So let's see who's that will score that 27 minutes. And it would be, wouldn't it? Elias Chair scored for QPR on 27 minutes. So while we were talking 3 minutes ago, Elias Chair slipped it in the box and got the goal. And Plymouth have now equalised. What did I say? Plymouth have now equalised. And let's just see who it is, because I'm not surprised whatsoever. I'll go back to the, not giving me who it is, NG on 10 minutes. Oops. So we have got it 1-1. It's certainly on 1-1, but it's not. Oh, here we go. Ryan Hardy on 31 minutes for Plymouth. And, it's still almost 2-1 for the draw. 1-1. It's 1-1. Plymouth and I just. What do you think of that? Because I can't get it. Plymouth won, Cardiff won, and it's 2-1 against a draw. And you think, if you look at the odds in total, it's like they don't know who's going to win. They're spreading it evenly now across all three, and it's like just weird odds on that game. QPR are 1-0 up against Millwall, and at home when they start in the lead at home, they tend to either win or draw. I think that QPR are now sort of 32 minutes in. They're probably thinking, can we hold on to it? The only game that's not really heated up at the minute is Sheffield Wednesday Coventry, where Coventry have got 60% of the possession. They've had 6 shots at the minute, but only 2 on target. I think that the thing that gets me about that is Sheffield Wednesday have another shot off target. Sheffield Wednesday have now had 2 shots, one on target, but they've had 3 corners. 3 corners. They did have 3 corners and 1 shot. You should really be getting at least a shot towards goal from a corner. I don't see. We've got a goal there. We got a goal. Watford we did, didn't we? Bristol City 1, Watford 1. Bristol City, 34 minutes played. That's the Scott Twine equaliser on 25 for Bristol City. Huddersfield pulled it back at 1-1 against away to Blackburn. So we've now caught up with that. We've now seen that Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 1, Bristol City 1, Watford 1 with Scott Twine there. Norwich 1, West Brom 0. Just come in. Plymouth just equalised 1-1 with Cardiff. QPR have gone ahead at home against Millwall. Yeah, my system doesn't start liking games. Go away. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Coventry 0, but Coventry are on the ascendancy, but they don't seem to be able to actually get the shots on goal. They seem to be hammering them wide, high, and everywhere but goal bound. Stoke City 0, Birmingham 1. That was right at the beginning. If we got into that game, then who was Philippe Andre Vidigal is injured. It was Jay Stansfield. Yeah, Jay Stansfield again. He caused absolute havoc at Rotherham, which is my team. He is one hell of a player to try and stop in the box. Stop outside the box is hard enough. We'll have a quick look at the other leagues. We've got Bristol Rovers 1, Blackpool 2, Burton Albion 2, Charlton 0. Wow. Fleetwood 0, my local town, Portsmouth 1. Wigan 1, Reading 0. And so I did go across to that, see if there was going to be any altercations with the fans, but they don't seem to have brought the tennis balls this time. So, a moment of quietness. We can go back and start at the top. If anybody has a particular team they follow, then do say, and I can try and see what we can find. We've got Plymouth Cardiff. Cardiff playing it along the back at the minute. They're happy to play it along the back in defence. Who shall we go to? Let's go Sheffield Wednesday, shall we? So Cardiff, XG of 0.28. They're They got 6 shots, 2 on target. Sheffield Wednesday were on 2 shots, 1 on target. They still are. And it's 55-45 for possession towards Coventry. So they're doing a lot of. They've got a lot of fire, a lot of opportunities to shoot, but they're not. They're making the most of possession, aren't they? Because they got 59% possession now, 3 times as many shots. So when Sheffield Wednesday have got it, they don't seem to be really pushing right into that final third and getting the opportunities. I saw Josh Windass have a couple of moments right in the box, but he wasn't. He was being dispossessed as soon as he got in the box. We come back to the main sheet. So we've still got Blackburn, Huddersfield drawing, Bristol City, Watford drawing. Norwich City are still 1 up against West Brom. Plymouth, they're equalised, now 1-1 against Cardiff. Just looking at those odds, they're starting to actually move Cardiff out. And I said this earlier, didn't I? They were saying that Cardiff were the odds on to win. And now they're sort of pushing. We've got 7-4 for both Cardiff, for both Plymouth and a draw. And just over 2-1, 21-10 for Cardiff. So they're starting to swap the odds now towards Plymouth, and that's what I said. Plymouth are actually really good at home. QPR 1, Millwall 0. Sheffield Wednesday still 0-0, 36 minutes with Coventry, and Stoke 0, Birmingham 1. I go to the Stoke Birmingham game. As Stoke City have it with Lewis Barker, who loses it to Jay Stansfield. Not a great place to lose it to Jay Stansfield, as he's just across in the Stoke half. He passes it through, threads it and he gets a 1-2, and he belted in, blocked on the line. Somebody else has a shot, bounces off to Miyoshi in the corner. Pulls it back to Cody Drame, across to Jordan James, who tries to thread it through, but Michael Rose gets it, and it's soon in midfield with Ryan May. So Birmingham are now starting to turn the screw here. Can Birmingham get a second goal and take this game away from Stoke? Stansfield on 10. I don't know. Daniel Iverson tries to thread it through, but Lee Buchanan quickly blocks it out in midfield. So Birmingham have it in with Jordan James now. Runs it forward, passes it to Koji Miyoshi. Where's he going to take it? He's running with the ball, threads it through to Jordan James, who has a shot, but it's blocked just outside the goal area. And then a corner. Is that a corner to Birmingham? Maybe a corner to Birmingham there. So come away from that one. So yeah, Birmingham are definitely looking like they're in the ascendancy in that one. Have we missed any goals while we've been out? Well, not in the Championship, we haven't. Although the Plymouth odds disappeared there. The Plymouth odds disappearing usually means that there's been an altercation in there. Yellow card. Let's have a look. Look at the timeline. Yeah, there's a yellow card given to Plymouth. So Plymouth got a yellow card there. 4 yellows already in that game. It's 41 minutes gone with 4 yellows. That's he's certainly handing those out. Plymouth are on the attack with Morgan Whittaker. Good player. Really is a good player. I think he plays more good games than he does bad games. Morgan Whittaker Can have a pig of a day, and then but it's picked off his foot and wellied to Ryan Wintle, and Cardiff are now on their right side, pushing forward. It's 42 minutes and 8 seconds, and it's just wellied for no reason at all. But Ollie Tanner does manage to get it on the left side. Perry NG, but he loses it to Giabi. So one thing about Perry NG, he doesn't seem to have a great. He's great at scoring, but he doesn't have a great tackle. Keeping the ball isn't Perry NG's best trait, and getting the ball off someone else is not his best trait. But when he's got it, he knows what to do with it. We're in a gap. I hate gap. Oh, and Coventry have scored. Coventry has scored against Sheffield Wednesday. It's now Sheffield Wednesday 0. Coventry 1. So we now have a goal. And the odds are flickering away. So it's now 9-1 against Sheffield Wednesday winning. It's 15-4 for the draw, and 3-1 on for Coventry. Earlier today, we had Arsenal 5, Palace 0, and we had Swansea 1, Southampton 3. With Southampton squandering so many goals in the first half that you can't believe. And then they sort of sat back and let Swansea attack them. And to all intents and purposes, Swansea could have equalised there. They could have got a draw, but they didn't. And if you're interested, Arsenal women 2, Everton women 1 on 81 minutes. So the only game without a goal is my team. I don't even dares look. It's 44 minutes. Rotherham usually let a goal in on 45 minutes. So everything, and something's happened. The odds have now gone. And what's gone on there? Middlesbrough have got the ball. Don't know. Barlasser. I hate Barlasser. He's so good. Came from Rotherham. Barlasser. Across to Dale Fry. Back to Luke Ayling. Middlesbrough have got the ball. They're pushing forward. They're right in the middle. Christ gets the ball for Rotherham. What can Christ do? 7 minutes extra time. 7 minutes. This is where Rotherham always lose it. This is where Rotherham nigh on always lose it. Let's see what it's been. The timeline shows that it's been constant Middlesbrough pressure. Rotherham's Morris surprisingly has a yellow card, 40 minutes. I bet you we end up with a red card. We're the only team, I think, to have red card, with about 6 red cards we had so far, and none given against us. No red cards for the opposition. We've took about 6 red cards ourselves. And we've had no penalties. We're one of only 4 teams in the EFL not to have been given a penalty. Yet we've been given penalties against us. So the fans are a bit miffed, especially seeing as Webb is actually a Rotherham fan, and he's always most of the time he's in the Rotherham box when we play at home. So Middlesbrough have it in defence. Barlasser tries sneaking that through, but Hugill gets it, gives it back to Barlasser, who gives it back to Hugill. A bit of a tackle frenzy there. Cafu has the ball for Rotherham. Clucas. Morrison actually is quite far from, passes it back to Victor. Why do you want to do that? Kioso for Rotherham. There he is. He's actually playing now, which is really good. Obviously, we pulled him back from Peterborough, and he didn't want to play because he was Peterborough's captain. But when you've got 6 people injured from your centre backs, and you've only got 9, and 2 of them are out for the season, there was no way on God's earth we were going to keep a defender Kyoso at Peterborough being their captain, because that was just didn't make any sense. Let's have a quick look through the other scores I'll keep the Rotherham game on that. It's only Middlesbrough 0, Rotherham 0 is the only 0-0 we've got. As we see, Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 1 still. We've still got Bristol City 1, Watford 1. Like I say, we know the Borough-Rotherham game. That's sure. We've got 5 minutes left of extra timers. Oh, Marcus Force nearly scores for Middlesbrough, but Victor pulls out one of his amazing saves. Question is, can he get it out of the box before they get it off him? God's sake, get it out, Victor. It looks a bit dangerous down on at Middlesbrough. He's actually running it to Peltier. Christ, okay, they managed to get it out. Norwich 1, West... and then they lose it again. Oh, this is not good at Middlesbrough. Norwich 1, West Brom 0. I don't want to look down there. Plymouth 1, Cardiff 1. QPR 1, Millwall 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Coventry 1, and Stoke 0, Birmingham 1. Stoke is half-time. The Plymouth game is half-time. The Bristol City game is now half-time. As we see, %72% possession for Middlesbrough. And Rotherham have a shot. Matt Clucas. And it's just outside and bounces off to Tom Glover. So we've actually had a shot, but then it goes all the way to the other end. And Morgan Rogers gets it. And how the hell's Victor got it in our back right corner? He's way out of his box. And he taps it over for a Middlesbrough throw-in. Now, I can only guess why the defence were just not there. And we've actually got Victor Johansson, the Rotherham's goalkeeper, being a defender in their right wing position. I'm astonished. Sam Greenwood, Lucas Engel, back to Matt Clark. We've now got 2 minutes of extra time at Middlesbrough, as I think all the others are now. Norwich 1, West Brom 0 is in 49 minutes. And Bristol finished. Blackburn, Huddersfield is on 46 minutes. I think Rotherham will like to just get this ball out and reconstitute during the second half. Burton 1, Charlton 0. As Lucas Engel passes it forward, Finn Azaz across to Barlasser, passes it sideways to Hackney, and through to Azaz. Has a shot on goal, but it's blocked, and it goes somewhere. Not telling me where it's gone. I hate it when it goes quiet. Portsmouth still winning Fleetwood 1-0. Shrewsbury are beating Peterborough 1-0. And Wigan half-time 1-0 up against Reading. So nothing strange there. As we see, last 30 seconds at Middlesbrough. This is usually where Rotherham let one in. Luke Ayling in the box for Middlesbrough. And I can guess it's going to go in the... I'm going to guess it's going to go in the fucking net. What's he doing with it? I'd hack him down and give him a penalty, or belt it out to the other end. Well, if the odds are on, it's not happened. Hakeem, and it's gone blank. I think that's half time. So we now have all the matches on half time. It better be, it's all gone blank. So we're on half time. Shall we go through the main results? So we've got we'll go all the way from this morning. Arsenal finished 5-0 against Crystal Palace. We have the Arsenal women, 91 minutes. They're winning 2-1 against Everton women. Swansea won Southampton 3 from this morning. Blackburn are 1-1 at home to Huddersfield. Bristol City are 1-1 at home to Watford. Yeah, Borough 0, Rotherham 0. I think Rotherham will be sighing a breath of relief after that first half. Norwich 1, West Brom 0. Plymouth coming back from the dead there. Plymouth 1, Cardiff 1. And Plymouth are really starting to gain the momentum in that game. QPR 1, Millwall 0. Sheffield Wednesday 0. Coventry 1 and Stoke 0. I keep saying Middlesbrough. Stoke 0. Birmingham 1. Birmingham versus Stoke, I would say, is probably the game that's looking like that will stay as it is. It doesn't look, unless they make a drastic change in the second half, it doesn't actually look like Stoke are really firing on all cylinders today. We have Sheffield Wednesday, who are 1-0 down. So I look at the games there, make sure everything's. Well, I'd done that, but it didn't come up. Dink. So, shall we have a look at the table? Let's have a look at the table. What are the table? We have Leicester City at the top. Obviously, they play on Monday, don't they? Against Ipswich on 65 points. We have Southampton second on 58 and third Ipswich on 58 with 16 goal difference, whereas Southampton have 21. We could have made it so much more today. Then the last of the top six are Leeds, West Brom and Coventry on 51, 45 and 43. I did say, I actually said in my initial predictions right at the beginning of the year, top four, big gap, and then 5 and 6 will be coming up slowly behind. I think we'll still be in for a top four. Not the top four I thought it would be. And I certainly thought Leicester, Southampton and Leeds would be in there. I didn't think Ipswich would be in there. I didn't think West Brom would be up there either. So we've got West Brom and Coventry 5th and 6th. Hull, Norwich, Watford, Sunderland in 10th, which is quite surprising. Like Sunderland, I think Sunderland that play tomorrow. Can't remember, but oh no, Sunderland played yesterday, didn't they? Yeah, Sunderland played yesterday, and they got the fans were yelling, "You're getting sacked in the morning," weren't they? So that was quite funny. I don't see I don't see any owner doing something as stupid as that when they're on 40 points. But you've got Watford, Sunderland, and Borough at the minute on 40 points in 9th, 10th, and 11th. And Coventry are in 6th on 43. Why would anybody do anything as stupid as sack their manager in such a position? There's only one team that would do that, and that's Watford. Historically, they've always done that. And I said at the beginning of the season, if Watford sack their manager again, they're going to be in the bottom 6. The fans would just get hacked off with it, and you can't keep changing style every 3 times a year. So I'm happy. Well, I'm probably more happy for the fans. The fans deserve a little bit of stability rather than sack the manager. We're not doing as well as what I wanted to. And let's face it, those teams, Watford and Sunderland, in the middle, 43 points behind 6th place, 5 points behind 5th. And realistically, it was always going to be a top 4. I actually had Sunderland in the top 4. So I am surprised they're not there, but I don't think they're in a position to worry. The ones I'm surprised at, probably Sunderland in 10th, Borough are now 11th. Even if they win, Borough would go up to 8th. So I suppose it's 3 leaps forward, but not great. If they lost at the minute, they'd stay where they are. Cardiff are in 12th. Preston, who do play tomorrow, are in 13th. Bristol City are in 14th on 37. And then we start getting down to the Swansea in 15th and Blackburn in 16th on 33 points. They're the teams that I would say have really got that. They're not likely to be pushing for promotion, although they're not that far behind. And it's ridiculously flat. The league is just ridiculously flat. So they could get to a 5th or 6th position, but I think at the minute they just have to think about another 10 points, another 11 points, and they're safe from relegation. And then they can start to think about other things like, it's not such a gap from where they are to the top, and it's so flat. They could go on a 3 or 4 game winning streak, and suddenly they're sort of like 3 points from 5th and 6th. So it could get quite interesting. Below those two, you've got Millwall in 17th. And now this is the interesting bit. So on 32 points, 1 point behind those, you've got Millwall, Stoke, and Birmingham. Now, like you say, that 12 points and they're safe. Can they get 4 wins? Well, they should be able to in 18 games, shouldn't they? Teams such as them, as with their sort of class and style and the money they've got on that field, the skill set should at least be able to win 4 games, even if it's only against the bottom 6 teams. And then you get the difficult one. Well, Plymouth at the minute are drawing. They're on 31 points in 20th position. But I've just got a feeling that they're going to win that game. And I'll put them up to 33 points on about -1. So they would go to about 15th. So they'd be really happy. I know that some of the Plymouth fans I spoke to last year would be really, really happy with saying they're 15th with 18 games to go. I will say the Plymouth fans, they were really, really good about everything when they were top of the League One, and really good to talk to. And as soon as they got promoted and they saw that Rotherham were going to slide to the bottom, and they were going to be halfway up the league. They suddenly got quite, I said, up themselves. They were really, really confident and rather blasé. Every week, I'd go onto their main supporters site, and they'd be talking about, oh yeah, oh yeah, they're going to lose, but I don't know about how many. And you're thinking, last year and at the beginning of this year, the first two games, you were all, oh yeah, we want to do at least, we'd be okay doing as well as Rotherham do, and just going up and down as long as we can, be coming back every time. And the attitude just seems to have changed among the fans, and suddenly it's like, oh yeah, we're brilliant, and there's no way we're going down, and really, really blasé. But I have to say, if they do get that win today, I think on 33 points, yeah, they're as good as up. Another 11, 2 draws, 3 wins. Yeah, they can do that. And then you get to the last 4, Huddersfield and QPR, 27 and 24. They need to do as well as what they are doing now in the second half of the year to give them a chance of staying up. I think that Huddersfield have a great chance of doing that. They've really sorted that back line out, and I think that that back line is more than capable of taking the attacks of most of that league, to be honest, and not to get hammered that many times. QPR, on the other hand, are a little bit more risky. I think QPR are not. They had 2 wins in a row, and they've shown signs that they can get out of it. But they just don't seem to put enough attacks in there to enough points in there to enough attacks to get the points, and enough points in there to wins consecutively to get out of it. However, they aren't that far behind Huddersfield, but Huddersfield are starting to pick up the points more regular. Then you have Sheffield Wednesday, who've made 2 great signings. You can't really say that being 5 points behind Huddersfield that it's over for them, because they're picking up some interesting wins. And I mean, interesting in that they're getting points against sides they shouldn't be getting points against. And by hook or by crook, they're coming back. They're actually in the second half now down there. Coventry 0.54 XG, Sheffield Wednesday 0.09. Coventry, yeah, still in the ascendancy, but we know what Sheffield Wednesday are like. Can they get out of it? Yeah, they could. My team, Rotherham, well, I think we're just planning for League One, to be quite honest. I mean, we are 8 points away from Huddersfield. We were 9, so we have got closer, but we are back to the list as Liam Kitching is injured for Coventry. Who do we have going? Let's go back to the main list. So we have Birmingham winning at Stoke. Oh, Birmingham scored. Wow. Birmingham scored. It's 2-0 to Birmingham. Birmingham just scored on 50. Who scored for Birmingham? It's Bakuna. Junino Bakuna's just scored for Birmingham. And I said that was going to be it. It does look like that is going to be it. So Birmingham 2-0 up away at Stoke. Wasn't too happy with the Stoke game last week. I think that was pretty dismal. They didn't play very well, yet they still won. I think we're going to see a good win here from Birmingham. And it's 7-1 again, 7-1 on for Birmingham to win. Coventry 1-0 up at Sheffield Wednesday. But like it says with the odds, it's only 9-1 against Sheffield Wednesday winning, and it's 3-1 on for Coventry. They're not quite so sure that Sheffield Wednesday won't come back. It's only 7-2 for a draw, which ain't that poor. QPR still winning 1-0 at home to Millwall. Although, by looking at the odds, it's 11-1 against Millwall and 3-1 for the draw. It does look like they're pulling back for that win. They're now pulling all the men back and trying to basically 10 man behind the ball at QPR. Let's see what Millwall can do and whether they can get past it. The odds are sort of pushing towards Millwall not being able to penetrate that back line. We shall see. Norwich 1, West Brom 0. Plymouth 1, Cardiff 1. So Rotherham and Middlesbrough, the only 0-0 game at the minute. It's just started in the second half. So that was a bit late because it was 7 minutes extra time. Bristol City 1, Watford 1. And Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 1. Now they're on 48 minutes, which is quite strange because they actually finished, probably a minute or so before Rotherham finished, and Rotherham finished last. So actually, how they seem to have restarted their game a bit quick. Quick look at League One. We have Bristol Rovers 1, Blackpool 2, Burton Albion 2, Charlton 0. And I would really have thought Charlton would have shown a bit more nous there. We have Leyton Orient 0, Bolton 0. And I would have thought Bolton would have been doing well. And it's only Fleetwood 0, Portsmouth 1. Lincoln 0, Derby 0. Peterborough 0, Shrewsbury 1, Wigan 1, Reading 0. So, and Exeter 0, Cambridge 0. Oh, it's the Exeter Cambridge University Derby. So, as we go back into the games at 49, 50 minutes, 47 minutes at Norwich. The last game to finish, I think, will be the Millwall game. They're on 46 minutes. And Stoke City are on 54 minutes. So, if you wanted a comeback odds, now if you want comeback odds, Stoke City are 20-1 against. But, and it is a big but, I don't think there's much chance of it. So let's have a look at the Stoke City game. I think we need stats don't lie. I don't think, not really. And then that's when you stop and think, oh shit, it's actually changed quite a lot. So Birmingham at the beginning were really quite forceful, and they were constantly on the ball and constantly in the Stoke City end. We now have Stoke City 70% of play, Birmingham 30%, which is weird. Dangerous attacks 37 to Stoke, 17 to Birmingham. Total attacks 77 to Stoke, 45 to Birmingham. 5 corners for Stoke, 2 to Birmingham. Shots, 10 shots from Stoke with an XG of 0.71. and 8 shots for Birmingham at an XG of 0.38. Now, it 50%, 8 of those shots that Birmingham had have been on target, and yet 2 of the Stoke shots have been on target. So although Stoke have actually since the beginning have actually started to come back, they're just not getting. I mean, they've had another shot while I've been speaking. They've had 2 shots. Stoke have had 2 shots on goal. Neither of them on target, and you have to start thinking, if only they could get them on target, they could be 3-2 up. And that makes me look at that 20-1 odds and the shit. Yeah, that could be quite a good gamble, couldn't it? It's a good job I'm not a gambler. But Stoke City are actually doing better, guys, than what I thought. Absolutely are. So although Stoke City are 2-0 down, their fans must be stood there thinking, shit, we're miles better. We're so much more organised and so much more of the ball. But we're 2-0 down. I could see that being an absolute pain in the proverbial. Sheffield Wednesday. So we go into the Sheffield Wednesday game, 0-1. So Sheffield Wednesday, Coventry are now in the attack with Casey Palmer. I just thought I'd have a look at the Reading game. Still going on. That's okay. Icky has it at the back for Sheffield Wednesday. Passes it to Barry Bannon. You see, Barry Bannon there is in defence, which he shouldn't be. And he loses it to Sakimoto, who passes it back to Thomas. And he loses it to Barry Bannon on halfway line. See, Barry Bannon should be on halfway stroke further forward. As Marvin Johnson is there right in the corner, but he loses it. Sheffield Wednesday throw in right next to the box, and he gives it straight to Coventry. Milan van Evik. Where's he going to kick that one to? He's going to kick it out. Kick it out. Plymouth have scored against Cardiff. What did I say? What did I say about Plymouth? What did I said 3. I think I said 3-1. It's now 2-1 to Plymouth. I absolutely believe this. And yeah, it's Ryan Hardy again on 52 minutes. So Ryan Hardy, they come back from 1-0 down. They're now 2-1 up with 55 minutes played. So Plymouth and Birmingham are the only teams to have scored 2 goals. And quickly look down. I'll use the other one. Charlton 2-0 down. I'm quite surprised at that. Birmingham, Derby 0-0 at Lincoln is quite a surprise. Wigan Reading, the battle of the ex-championship teams, with Wigan winning. So we have Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 1. At the minute, it's Blackburn in the ascendancy, although it looks more like being a draw. Huddersfield were actually, although Huddersfield had less of the ball, I actually think they're playing the better of the football. So with less of the ball, Huddersfield are actually I think they're more likely to get if any team got that win in the Blackburn game, it looks like it would be Huddersfield to get it. Other than that, we have, what odds have we got changing? We've got Middlesbrough now starting to push the odds in their favour quite dramatically, but it's still 0-0. Bristol City are the draw. It's 1-1. Bristol City 1, Watford 1. The odds at the minute are very much for a draw. If anybody's going to win it, it looks like being Bristol City. Although I think Watford were doing quite well at the beginning. They seem to have pulled back a little bit, and they've sort of let Bristol City in. It's strange with Bristol City. They seem to play. They play really well one game, and then they play really crap the next. Who do you support? I'm just rabbiting away, and Ellie's put something on here. I just like to see. I just like to say it as it is, and it's in. I find it interesting, Ellie. You look at the odds, and of course the odds are about the amount of people who bet on it, because the betsters don't want to lose money. So as Coventry have just got 2, so it's Coventry 2. I must just break away for that. Coventry 2, 59 minutes. I'm sure that's is a new goal, isn't it? Yeah, 57 minutes. Ben Sheaf got his second. So that's Sheffield Wednesday. 2 minutes ago, they let the second in. So that's and it's like if you had a team such as my team, Rotherham, and we play Leicester City. Leicester City have so many supporters, like 10 times as many as we do. A lot of them will put a little bit of money on their team to win every week, and they'll certainly put it on when they play in Rotherham. So the odds on them winning are huge, like 6-7 to 1 again, 6 to 7 to 1 on, because they've got loads and loads of their own supporters betting on them. And we've got so few supporters that the odds for Rotherham are going to be low anyway. So, we regularly get 6 to, I've just got 10 to 1 against Rotherham. And you think, it's insane. It's not about football with the odds. That's what you've got to think about. It starts off with football, and then when people start betting, it's the odds have to be changed as to how many people actually put money on the different outcomes. So we can't look at the odds as a rule, but we can look at them as they change and see how they're changing, and then you've got a professional view then, because they don't want to lose money. If a team suddenly, like if Watford started playing well now against Bristol City, what you'd get is the odds for Watford would quickly shorten from 3 to 1 against down to about 2 to 1, thinking shit, they might win. And all of a sudden you'd get this sort of shortening of the odds to make sure that they don't lose money. So it's less the number that we look at. I don't look at the number, although it is quite interesting. I look at how it's changing and how it's fluctuating, and that gives you an idea if you look at the betting app. So I don't bet, not a lot. I put £1 on Rotherham and that's it, It gives you an idea of how the teams are actually changing as they go through the game. So it's quite interesting. I love doing it, and I don't mind if one person turns up, even if no people turn up. I'll just rant on. So, do you support any particular team, or not any? I'm going to go back to the top in a minute. So I'll keep my eyes open in case Ellie tells me what team she supports. Because we are going to go. In fact, I'm going to go from the bottom this time. We're on 65 minutes at Stoke. We were looking at a Stoke team that were on the up, and their XG is rocketing. their XG, the number of defined chances is up to 1.03 for Stoke, and it's only on 0.38 for Birmingham. So with 14 shots for Stoke, only 2 on target. Birmingham 8 shots, 4 on target, 2 goals. Now that is just I know. What a person to have on. I'm a Rotherham fan. Yeah, I don't know whether you saw it, but Rotherham fans have this this channel on YouTube, New York Talk, and they did after it was Rotherham 1, Borough 0. They said they opened up the video. Somebody's just scored in the Rotherham game. Rotherham has scored. Rotherham are in the lead. How the fuck's that happened? I'm sorry, Ellie. My team, Rotherham's just scored. And they said, we're waiting for the police because we're expecting the police to arrest the Rotherham team for daylight robbery. And it was just like, we had about 10% of play. I think it was literally something like 20%, wasn't it? Rotherham had, at one point, we had about 19% possession and we won the game. And it was like, doesn't make any sense. Let's just have a quick look at that. I mean, if you look at the odd, I can guarantee the odds. It's Cafu that scored on 59 minutes. See, the odds are still 6-5 against Rotherham winning, and sort of 15-8 for a draw. They're still saying that the chances are that it's not going to stay at 1-0. And probably I'll reluctantly agree with that, I think, if I can get out of goal scorers. So we have one game going against what we expected. We have Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 1. We'll go into that one. Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 1. Blackburn are Blackburn have got 69% possession against Huddersfield's 31. They've also got 6 corners. Blackburn, 6 corners, 10 shots, but only 2 on target. And it just shows you, because what you've got is Huddersfield on 31% possession, 2 corners, 4 shots, 2 on target. And they've both got 2 on target, and they've both... yeah, they both got 1 goal, which is like... And I tell you what, Ellie, you say that about Borough. So Borough seem to play better when they're underdogs. Can never rule them out, though. Never expect to... you can't predict. There are a lot of sides like that. It's like Rotherham. We always said that we always play better when the team that comes down to Rotherham expect to win. So Norwich City were the first team to come down and say, we're going to win. It's not a case. I heard several fans on the internet say it's not a case of if we'll win. It's how many we'll win by. And I think West Brom did that the year before, and they also lost at Rotherham, and they lost. And it's like, well, yeah, but you came expecting to win, just not knowing by how many. And it's as if I don't know whether it's the same with Borough, but it's the same with Rotherham. It's as if they know that they're against it. They know that they're the underdogs, and they're so blasé, the opposition, that they don't think about the back end. They think, well, we'll just lob everything at midfield and attack, and we'll just trounce the buggers. And they forget to do the back end, and it's really weird. But our best player of the last couple of years has to be Barlasser. Barlasser was an absolute stalwart. He was our certainly one of our best players for many a year. And the chance came for him to play for Middlesbrough, and everybody knows he comes from Middlesbrough, for God's sake, and all the Rotherham fans just looked at it because it didn't really want to go. He basically turned around and said, I've got a chance, but I like Rotherham, and we all sort of said, well, look, they're your home team. Of course you're going to want to play for your home team, and they might go up into the Premiership. And I certainly put them in the top. Borough in the top. I think I put them in fourth. I think. So those top four for me that were going to run away with it included Borough, Sunderland, Leicester, and Leeds. And I thought Southampton would be out of it. So I didn't do very well on that, but the fans were just all over and saying, you're going to get us £1 million. Go. It's not really the money, but we know that everybody knew that his heart was with his home team, and he's always wanted to play for him. So when Barlasser went, he went with all our love, if you like. So he is brilliant. And when we won Middlesbrough at home, he was absolutely amazing. All of his thread throughs through the front. Our defence just couldn't do it. It's like thread through the middle of our defence, and we'd stand there thinking, where the fuck did that one come from? And it was doing it every time. It wasn't as if it was like once occasionally. Every time Barlasser got it, it was like through the central defence. For fuck's sake, will he stop doing that? It was one of those strange games at Rotherham, wasn't it, where Borough they could hit the post, the bar, they could hit everything, but not the back of the net. Like I said, we ended the game thinking we're going to get the police around for daylight robbery here. So we were going to go to Bristol City versus Watford. So you go to Bristol City versus Watford. Watford have the ball in defence, and it's Tom. He's lost it to Scott Twine, but he passes it backwards and loses it. It's ping pong in the Watford area. It is really ping pong in the Watford area. Where's the ball going to settle? It settles on Bristol City's right with Sam Bell. He passes it into Scott Twine. Scott Twine keeps losing it in the box. Not very good, but I see that a lot of strikers. You get a lot of strikers who can't tackle, and Scott Twine is one of them. I always say he's a League One. He's a League One striker, and I think he still is. He just can't. He's great at scoring, but actually tackling is not his forte. Watford have really wellied it right into their right corner of attack, and then they've wellied it all the way back into their left corner of defence. Bloody hell, that's a whole pitch. Really is ping pong. Watford are keeping it, but they're sort of pinging it from side to side, front to back. It's just gone from defence to attack to defence. Then they've wellied it in, and Jason Knight's got it for Bristol City, who loses it just outside the box with Ishmael Cone. Watford are in the attack. Oh, they have a shot, and Cone dribbles his way through and has a shot on goal but misses. God knows how he misses that one. But yeah, we've got. We'll have a listen to that one, shall we? We'll have a listen to that one. We can hear that one as we go through.
Always like a midfielder that moves his body and doesn't touch the ball, but because of what he does with his body, the ball seems
so that one is the Bristol City game.
But that was an ambitious shot, Steve. But that's probably one of frustration when it's thought, I've had to chances, I'd like to have a dig in.
Yeah, a little bit. As you say, he's looked the most likely, hasn't he? Certainly from a Watford point of view, other than the goal itself.
He sounds like he's got a cough like me. I had meningitis when I was 40, and it shot my lungs. So you can hear me coughing. It's because I had meningitis. So Birmingham, it's still Middlesbrough 1. Middlesbrough 0, Rotherham 1. Middlesbrough have just had a strike on goal, and it's a Rotherham goal kick. Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday have scored. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Coventry 2. Plymouth 2, Cardiff 1.
Go on, Tom Inns, debut for Blackpool, season 2011-12, now age 31. Naki Wells, debut for Carlisle, the season before, now age 33. So just, a few months between their debuts.
Victor Johansson wellies it out to Hugill, who loses it to, guess who? Daniel Barlasser. So Barlasser on the halfway line. Barlasser then threads it through, loses it to Lee Peltier, who's playing quite high up. Lee Peltier is now is playing just ahead of the defence, behind the midfield, which isn't usually where Rotherham put him. Usually the back line is a lot further back.
Never really threatening the goal, unfortunately, and that's been the case a bit too often, hasn't it, at the moment?
Rotherham seem to be slowing the game down, which is, I suppose, not surprising. Norwich 2, West Brom 0. Let's have a look at Norwich 2. Wow, XG. Look at this for the XG. I wouldn't blame. I tell you what, I wouldn't blame. What a game, Borough Chelsea, and Chelsea are beatable. I think Chelsea are beatable. I think that you could win that. I really do, because there are players like Barlasser who want to play in the Premiership, and they're going to play like hell to prove that they can do it. It's a great shop front for them. All those team players that Borough have, which are plenty of them, suddenly put in. They'll be run off their legs, absolutely, but they'll be playing for the shop window, and they'll be playing to make sure that. I suppose in a way it's bad in that they won't be playing for Borough; they'll be playing for their own future, and because they're playing for their own future, they'll be playing to make things as best for Borough, by the way, as they can. So I think there's a damn good chance that they'll actually get a good result there. I think that Chelsea are going to find it tough. They've not been brilliant this year. They've been hot and cold. So I wish you luck. I think that it's definitely something that you can do. And Tuesday, I hate having games 3 days. A Saturday and a Tuesday game to me is not. It's not great. It's not a great thing to be doing. It's a lot of games. It's a very few days between the games.
Yeah, and also you took off Rajovic as well, so you've lost your big man to the centre if you're playing like that.
Yeah, and it's not far away now. I mean, when the Championship get in there in round 3, it's not actually a great number of games till you're suddenly in the semis, the quarters, and the semis. So it's great. I remember Rotherham winning Arsenal and then winning Southampton, and then suddenly we were in. The next game was against Walsall at Rotherham, and we could be in the quarterfinals. And we got trounced 4-2 at home. But it's literally just a couple of games. It's not many games at all, and you're suddenly there. And it's great for the town. Brilliant. But yeah, we've got Norwich here. They're on 1.47 XG against West Brom's 1.02. Actually, West Brom have 60% of the play, which is... they've both had 12 shots now. They both had 12 shots. Norwich have had 6 on target, half of them. And West Brom have only had 2. So, therefore, it's 2-0 to Norwich. But It's like I said with the other one, the Stoke City one,
Although you're actually not that far
who
away
are now
from
2-1
shot coming
down.
from distance from Andrew.
If they could get
Always
more of
straight
those
away.
shots
They
on
could say
target, they'd
for the Bristol
be
City keeper, but
2-2 easily. So
picking points away, get those victories
they
at home,
can.
get that momentum going, get that unbeaten run going. You're very quickly into the top 6 as other teams have found. You look at those who are around
Norwich
there,
City
Coventry at the
to
moment, leading
Plymouth.
at, Sheffield
We'll
Wednesday,
go
get the
quickly in
victory
there.
today on the road as well. That takes them as it stands up to 6 as well. West Brom struggling at Norwich.
Perry NG for Cardiff. Cardiff are playing it around their own back end. They're not like they have a quick shot on target. They seem to be. That was a quick push from defence all the way into attack, and then it just wasn't even anywhere near. Ruben Colwill, and wow, shot on target for Cardiff. Another shot on target for Cardiff. It's back. Another shot. Jesus Christ, they're going. Look at that, 4 shots, and it's the goalkeeper gets it. Plymouth have really they almost equalised there, Cardiff. Wow, and at 4-1 against for a draw, they nearly got that equaliser. Absolutely amazing. That was nearly an equaliser for Cardiff. We have QPR 1, Millwall 0.
They'll try and get forward when they can. And again, kind of same with the wingers.
Does Millwall have a throw in? Millwall are throwing it in. Can they? QPR really needing this win at home. Jeff Cooper. And QPR collect it in defence.
Yeah, I mean, as a captain,
Welly it forward as they usually do to try and get that break, but fail. Wes Harding, old Rotherham guy, gets it for Millwall in midfield, and he loses it. Elias Scher has 2 shots on target, and it bounces back for Mitchell for Millwall. What more for? And he loses it. It doesn't look. I mean, let's look at the stats. I think QPR, it's basically 50-50.
Everywhere for them. Twine again puts the ball down. He's placing it very delicately on the 4. We'll wait to see this last set because near post. Will he go the same approach? He won't. He'll go far post. Header towards goal down the throat of Hamer. Routine save. Dickey. Again, we said
I like to listen to the commentary there just to see what happens. QPR have actually shot 11 times with 3 shots on goal on target. Millwall 3 with 1 on target. I can't see Millwall getting anywhere with that one. I think we may be seeing the winner in that one. And Plymouth have now scored a third, so it's now. I said 3-1. I wonder what the odds would have been. Plymouth 3, Cardiff 1. So Plymouth 3, Cardiff 1.
A winner from a set piece out of this game. From his point of view, you would certainly hope it was his.
We'll go to the Sheffield Wednesday game because Sheffield Wednesday have scored. We'll see who it was. It was Josh Windass, the guy that I said was going into the right places, but losing it. Actually managed to put it in the net. It's a little bit backward forward at the minute. In midfield with Sheffield Wednesday, Musaba. He's just walking it around midfield.
Across the box and out to the far side. Bristol City give the ball away in towards
offside for Sheffield Wednesday. So he was sort of walking it and then trying to time his pass forward, but it didn't work. And then lastly, we go to Stoke City. Now Stoke. It's Stoke 1, Birmingham 2. But look at the XG. Stoke City XG of 2.1. Birmingham XG of 0.44. Possession, Stoke 70%. Dangerous attacks, Stoke 72. Birmingham 19. listen to this.
Bristol City won a free
Attacks.
kick quickly.
124 Stoke attacks. 62 Birmingham. And yet Birmingham are winning 2-1. And the reason why they're winning? Stoke City, 22 shots, 5 on target, 1 in 4. Less than 1 in 4. Something's just happened. And Birmingham, 9 shots, 5 on target. And the odds have just... The odds have just stopped. When the odds come out, it means something's happened. Well, substitution for Stoke.
A bit of a frustrating afternoon for now. But I think it's a decent performance. I say not being critical of him in that sense, but as you say, end product. The question is how much of it is about him and how much of it about
interesting. It's all. If you look at the play, the play is nearly all Stoke. It's about 90% Stoke on the. If you look at the timeline, it's all red. It's all Stoke.
Nothing else. A goal elsewhere just to tell you about, bringing you up to speed on that. It's now Plymouth 3, Cardiff 1, so Cardiff in front early on, but it's going to be job done for the home side at Home Park. And it's a man who is
definitely done it.
I'm sure Morgan Whittaker, who has scored the third for Plymouth 3, Cardiff 1.
Yes, Watford in possession with a throw. 83 and a half minutes gone. Will we get a winner at Ashton Gates? If there's a few players for Watford,
shall we have a look at League One? We'll have a look at League One. So we've got Bristol Rovers 1, Blackpool 2, Burton 2, Charlton 0 still, Exeter 0, Cambridge 0, Fleetwood 0, my local team Portsmouth 1. Leyton Orient 1, Bolton 0, surprise there. Lincoln 0, Derby 0, Peterborough 2, Shrewsbury 1, Wigan still 1-0 up at home to Reading. At least that game's going to get completed today.
The set piece, Hoyt is up there, touch towering frame, James marking him, ball looped in towards the far post, flicked on by how didn't know anything about it. Bristol City doesn't get it clear. Matthias Martin, handball appeals from him. It's going to be very desperate. The flag goes up, I think, for offside from the pressure.
And QPR has scored a second. So QPR scored a second. So QPR are indeed going to be winning that one. So QPR managed to get the points when they need it. Absolutely dreadful for Rotherham, but we'd certainly do with Sheffield Wednesday losing.
Yeah, as I say, it wasn't a kind of created opportunity. It was a ball in the first instance and then header across into a place where
we have a look at what the league, the bottom of the league is, and the top of the league, shall we?
Win a corner for his side as Queen's Park Rangers with another important potential 3 points towards the bottom end of the table.
At the top, we have Borough in 11th on 39 with 4 points ahead. We have Coventry on 43 in 6th place. So actually, there's so many that can still get that 5th, 6th position slot, or probably all the way down. Borough in 11th, probably even including Preston still and Bristol Rovers and Middlesbrough have just equalised. So Middlesbrough have equalised through Marcus Force. So Middlesbrough equalised there, so they should be going up. So where are they going to go up to? I think it's just gone up. Yeah, so they stay in 11th. Goal difference from Sunderland and Watford. So they're equal 9th, 10th and 11th are Watford, Sunderland and Borough on 40 points.
Header towards goal down the throat of Hamer. Overhead kick. Header towards goal. Kicked away, I think, from Bristol City. In fact, it's actually Liverpool's leg. It was some desperate attempts. There's bodies everywhere in the penalty area. I think it might have been Knight again that's managed to get towards the edge of the box and have a goal.
Oh, dear.
Down the throat of Hamer for the second corner in a row. This one with a bit more gusto. Dickey going up for it. Even Dickey's header. It's Knight again. He's not the biggest player on the pitch, but he can get some power in the legs to leap up. Hamer comes to the rescue. Will he do so again here? Ball in. Watford heading clear this time. Hoyt.
Where are we going to see the last few goals? Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 1, perhaps?
It's a last-ditch attempt for
Not
win this game.
likely,
Maybe
but
that was the chance. Unfortunately, from their point of view, we shall see as the final.
Blackburn
2 minutes
are
ticked over,
actually on
as
the
you said,
ascendancy in
decent
that
header
game.
came out, the keeper pushed away. Then when the second ball came in, just
This
two
game
balls
on
around,
the
and from a
radio,
defensive point of view, from
Bristol
Watford,
City 1,
get a
Watford
clear
1.
header on goal.
At the
Chance
minute,
disappeared, but
heavily
good
likely to
opportunity,
be
better ball in as well from the initial
a
set
draw,
piece,
more
which
likely
created
than
a
the
chance
Blackburn
for the home
game.
side. It's good play from Bristol City, as I say. It's not been great from open play, but set pieces, they've had opportunities and they'll be frustrated. They haven't got their noses in front late on in this game as Middlesbrough an equaliser.
Rotherham won
Rotherham, it's
1.
Force who has scored 8 minutes from time. As to Cafu would put the Millers in front, the bottom of the table side looking for victory. But at the moment, it stands Middlesbrough 1, Rotherham 1.
Yeah, it's been a very testing few minutes for Watford defensively.
Norwich 2, West Brom 0. I was say 1 then. Why was I going to say 1? West Brom have got a nice throw in.
That shot was going in from Bristol City as Tom Ince has been thrown on for the last couple of minutes.
Jed Wallace.
He's replaced Chakavatse down the right hand side. Matthias Martin will chase it. And there have been a couple of appearances on the bench. Maybe I don't think there's been any more of dominant than his. Lewis has looked a few flashy touches in his clearance there, gets them out of trouble as 2 players run into each other. That should be a Bristol City throw. Tom Ince just trying to make himself his presence felt, barging into a Bristol City player.
West Brom are on the attack. They're just passing it back really quickly. They're passing it in midfield, but they're passing it quite quickly in midfield. West Brom are trying the best to get into that box, and they managed to get into that final third, but they've lost it to Shane Duffy. So they keep trying, but they just mull it again. Where's he going to pass it backwards? Can he? Okay. They're going to have to pass it forward at some point. They're on 86, 87 minutes. They need to press Pippa in the final third, Wallace, and he shoots and it's wide. So that didn't work. Bristol City 1, Watford 1, Middlesbrough 1, Rotherham 1. We've seen the Norwich 2, West Brom 0, Plymouth 3, Cardiff 1. Ain't going to go anywhere other than that, is it? I wish I'd have bet on 3-1. That would have been a really good bet. QPR 2, Millwall 0. Well, that's 91 minutes. That's not going to go anywhere different, is it? Sheffield Wednesday 1, Coventry 2. It's 91 minutes. It could go either way, as could the Stoke game. Stoke City 1, Birmingham 2. 94 minutes, but we don't know how many minutes they've got left.
Looks like if there's going to be a winner, it will come from the home side.
We've got Sheffield Wednesday in possession, in defence. 91 minutes 36, 5 minutes extra time. So 3.5 minutes left of that. As Coventry steal it in their attack, and can they do something with it? Probe down the left, they pull back. They go to the right. They try and probe down the right, but it didn't work. Probe again, pull back.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, I'm only giving it 5.1 for that. I'm literally disappointed by the landing.
Oh, they had a shot on goal, but it goes straight to the hands of goalie. And Sheffield Wednesday have a goal kick. 3 minutes to go.
No problem with that at all. And from a Watford point of view, this is exactly what they want to do. Sets up a set piece, which they can just knock it long, throw a couple of players forward, see if they can just get a little bit of something out of nothing.
Plymouth 3, Cardiff 1.
I think it's a decent point for them.
Forward from Hamer. What defending to do for Bristol City? We will, but it's a defensive head. I think it's Dickey. Just a little cushion off the top of the forehead, back to his goalkeeper O'Leary.
So just get rid of some of the messages.
Back it goes numbers for Watford.
Anything in League One. We have the full time at Exeter, Exeter 0, Cambridge 0. Nothing else has. No, nothing else has changed. No, not in League One anyway.
But without that pre-challenge, Steve, they were away. And I think he's in the top 2 or 3 candidates for player of the match.
I think so. I've been impressed. I've been impressed with him when I've seen him before, a few rough edges, but you can see some development in it. You can see the way he's played today. I think he's
so, as we fight on in the championship, we should start to see a few of the games now coming to an end.
Yeah, I was going to say the other side of things. Watford looked a little sloppy at times. Can't give it to Hoyt.
We still have Borough 1, Rotherham 1.
Him for the left back spot for Bristol City is the man. I think I would agree with you. Pring is our candidate for man of the match. There it is, the full-time whistle. Rather disappointing end to this game. It's
so that's that one. Watford.
Really in the end, the points are shared.
Watford 1 away to Bristol City. So I'll just refresh the screen so that doesn't. Yeah, I have. I've got a drip. I caught the flu yesterday. You know, your throat goes a bit. Your throat gets a bit. Something's wrong, and I've been sneezing all morning. I did a live for the 12:30 game, and I was okay. I wasn't too bad, and then right near the end, about halfway through the second half, I'm sneezing away, and it just wasn't good. I was just like one sneeze after the other and thinking, paracetamol, where are you? So had a decent day today, apart from the cold and the sneezing and the snivels and blowing my nose. I hope everybody that did come on, because we have had a few throughout the 2 hours I've been on. I hope you all enjoyed it. I don't mind having a live and a chat. I don't even mind chatting to myself. But it's nice when you get somebody who can bounce a few comments off. But it'll be an interesting week. I think that Borough's going to be certainly thinking about that game midweek then. As Tom Eaves shoots and it gets saved by Tom Glover. Last minute shot from Rotherham there. I'll just refresh the scores on the Sky Sports app. It's 2-0 to QPR. That's a final score. QPR 2, Millwall 0, Plymouth 3, Cardiff 1 is a final score. Bristol City 1. I'm looking. Matt Crooks is another one of Rotherham's players. Matt Crooks is now in the box. No, he passes it back to Hackey, Fry, Rogers. So right on the edge of Rotherham's penalty area. As Ollie Rathbone gets it, surely he's just going to welly it into the other half. The other games should be starting to finish now. Stoke City 1, Birmingham 2. Stoke City will be kicking themselves with that one. They really will. That's another one of those daylight robbery ones, isn't it? Stoke City should have walked away with that one, but didn't in the end. I'm looking at the Sheffield Wednesday one. The Sheffield Wednesday one should have finished by now. It's still Sheffield Wednesday 1, Coventry 2. Morgan Rogers for Middlesbrough loses it to Revan for Rotherham. Hackey gets it back. Ayling. Rogers seems to be doing rather well for Middlesbrough at the minute. And Force always shoots and it's off target. Wow. Force has had it right in the box. Passed it to Rogers who shot high and wide, but that was Wow, that was close by Middlesbrough. So we are 70% possession for Middlesbrough today. Morgan gets dispossessed, who gets dispossessed by Ayling. Jesus, wet. Ping pong ball a minute in the Rotherham area. Peltier, goal. Middlesbrough have won it. Middlesbrough have won it in the little 93rd minute of extra time. It's Middlesbrough 2, Rotherham 1. So there we are. You've got your win, and Rotherham get pushed to the bottom of the league again. So that was a disappointing day for us Millers, but we always seem to lose it in the last minute. It's just ridiculous, but we've done it again. Oh, no, it's been called offside. It's been called offside. It's Middlesbrough 1, Rotherham 1. The goal has been called offside with 50 seconds to go, and it's with Victor Johansson in the Rotherham area. Well, is it into the other end? And Middlesbrough welly it back, and Rotherham welly it back into the other end, and then, oh God's sake, Middlesbrough welly it into this is I don't like ping pong football. It's ridiculous. As we go into the last 20 seconds. And Matt Crooks, Rogers, Rathbone, come on, Rathbone, get it out, just kick it. Sheffield Wednesday have lost at home against Coventry 2-1. Coburn in the box, Coburn, and he loses it to Tom Eaves, who then loses it to Fry and O'Brien, and I'm going, come on, call the whistle. Peltier in his own area. Loses it to Fry in the box. Fry shoots and misses somehow, though God knows how. How Fry's missed that, I haven't a clue. Full-time 1-1. How the hell did Middlesbrough not win that in the last second with Dale Fry open net and missing the net? So thanks to Dale Fry, Rotherham get a draw. Middlesbrough 1, Rotherham 1. So we can go through the scores as before we disappear. So we have Swansea 1, Southampton 3, with Swansea doing a hell of a lot of work in the second half. Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 1. Blackburn on top, but Huddersfield making the most of their play. Bristol City 1, Watford 1. From all accounts, pretty dreary game. Borough 1, Rotherham 1. Borough had to come back late there and almost pulled it back twice in the last 2 minutes. Norwich City 2, West Brom 0. So West Brom have just faltered there again. Plymouth 3, Cardiff 1. Actually, that's actually what I suggested, which I can't believe I didn't put a bet on that. QPR 2, Millwall 0. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Coventry 2. And Stoke City will be kicking themselves. They had so much of the play. Stoke City 1, Birmingham 2. And Birmingham had, the stats, just to quickly look at the stats. 29% possession for Birmingham. 5 shots each on target. And yeah, that's a 2-1 win to Birmingham. So as all my notifications start coming through, thank you for joining. I'm glad we got a Middlesbrough fan. Good luck for Chelsea. I think that that's going to be what we'll call a ding dong of a match, isn't it? I have to go for the northern side because I originate from Rotherham, even though I do live near Portsmouth. Good luck, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I might see you next Saturday. So good luck, and thank you for watching. Oh, there's another one on there. Didn't see that one. There's someone in the background. Thank you, Cleofa.